You are about to listen to Only Fools and Collecting, a podcast for those who like a good moan about figure collecting and don't mind naughty words.
Hello, we are back for another episode, and might want to apologise a little bit because it's currently the first day of lockdown, lockdown 2 in the UK, and it's also bonfire night. There's fireworks going off all the way through, which is great. It's just me and Pete tonight, just us two.
Hello.
Quiet evening.
Yeah.
So let's get cracking then, Pete. What have you got this fortnight?
Well, we'll give a shout out to our sponsor first, Watto's Scrapyard.
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
Did it last week.
Yeah. Still banging out some fantastic custom sculpts for a lot of Star Wars, but pretty much anything you can think of. There's some examples here that Ian's painted. You'd also get parts for old Kenner Hasbro vehicles. So Sean's a top man. If there's anything you fancy, he's got over 300 sculpts now, kind of in the back catalogue. But as I say, if there's anything you want, send him some pictures, and he'll knock you up a custom sculpt very quickly and very reasonably. So thank you for that, Sean.
Yeah, he does some really good stuff.
Yeah,
really good stuff. Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's opened up a new world to us, really, for characters that we'd probably never see officially.
Yeah, for sure. It's my shelf is just full of stuff. Most of it's Sean's. So it's well worth hitting him up. Particularly like I said, for Kenner's stuff and things like that is always really good. Yeah. I think he posted a video where he's got like another something like 28 resin printers or something.
Yeah, I know he said that. I haven't seen that. More. I know he said he's got that many.
In the chat, we got Ryan, Danny Lee, and Toy Matthew. Hello, gentlemen.
Evening, guys.
Hello.
Nice to have you.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
New this fortnight.
Yes, take it away, Pete. It's fucking stunning.
It is. I'll be looking forward to talk about this one. I think you, in a way, have I have you to thank for because I was going to pass on this, and then I kind of you and David said, "Look, man, you got to have this. Your collection needs this." And I kind of I had an epiphany, and I thought, you know what, it really does. I think I was trying to put it off because I didn't have any villains. But I mean, this is the villain from the series. I mean, the other films, they don't have, a kind of pantomime villain in the way that Temple of Doom does. So this is by a guy. Well, he goes by Spencer. Is his kind of artist name, I suppose. Is and I just came across this is one of the SSF threads, and he did a sculpt quite a few years ago, I think, for Molaram, and someone messaged him and said, "Look, do you fancy doing, another run?" So this is a new sculpt, so he did a new sculpt, and it's better. It's definitely better than the original one. And we kind of chatted a bit backwards and forwards about what would people want. Would they want the full headdress, or they just want the outfit from the end scene on the bridge? And there was actually two different people making the outfits. It was going to be Spencer was going to do the head sculpt, or the necklaces, the headpiece and everything, and another guy was going to do the robes. But then Spencer said, "Well, I can do the robes as well." So it wasn't bad. It worked out. I think with the body. Well, I already had the body, but with the body, just over £300, which, for a custom of this quality, I think is pretty good.
It's really good.
I got it all painted apart from the headdress because I figured, well, I can't paint the head. I don't have the skills for that. The necklaces would have been bloody fiddly, and I couldn't be asked with that. But the headdress, I thought, well, it's just bone, painting the little man's face and adding some hair, and I had plenty of like lamb's wool hair.
Yeah.
So I just went and had a go on that. Just made it look quite aged and everything. And then it came with the heart. he was throwing the heart scene, because I didn't know, he didn't say that originally.
Yeah.
And then when he started shipping them out, he said, "Oh yeah, I'll put a heart in." I was like, "Oh, fantastic!" 'Cause that's how I wanted to display it.
Yeah.
So then obviously I just went to town with some blood and some gloss and everything. And I love that shot in the middle. I absolutely love that shot.
Really good.
It's brilliant. So I've got him on a gang hood, the muscular body, because there was a lot of debate about what body to use, and he's not really that big, but I had the body, and actually once you've got it under all the robes and everything, you don't really see the bulk.
It's weird because he's not a beefy guy, but he's a big guy.
He is, yeah. He's kind of like barrel shaped kind of.
Yeah, and all the bodies about every single one of them's fucking ripped. They're either ripped or stupidly fat. There's never like anything in the middle. No,
and obviously you don't see very much of him. I did a light wash on the body to just kind of tone it to the face a little bit.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it turned out really well actually, and I think that I love the display now with the indies and short round. He's doing a short round as well, so I'll keep an eye on that and decide whether or not it's worth upgrading, because he's doing the clothes and the sculpt.
You definitely need some more villains. Now you've got him.
I know, but then it's kind of, there was the Belloc sideshow did one, didn't they?
Yeah. That wasn't great.
No, it wouldn't. No, I mean, I don't even know if the suit's salvageable.
Don't think. I mean, but to be fair, it's a white suit.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got Donovan from Last Crusade. But they're just, I don't know. It's just they're a bit like they're just old men in suits.
Well, you'll have Miriam soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I went the whole hog with Raiders, I'd love to have a Sulla and Marcus Brody as well, but it's kind of, I've been looking for suits. I'm struggling to find decent quality, like 1930s era suit.
Yeah,
everything's too modern. Because I'd quite like to do a Professor Jones at some point as well, but again, it's really difficult to find, a period kind of suit. But I think it proves that the indie collection is still evolving. Yeah, definitely. And obviously, this run and the short round run might push on, a Sulla and so it may be that this a kind of ongoing thing, really. So watch this space. But yeah, I love him. I think he's brilliant, and just the red like pops in the display cabinet there.
It's all really well done, and the way the joints are all hidden as well, makes it look even better. Yeah,
because it's perfect, because he's got leather wrist straps.
Yeah,
and obviously the elbows are covered. I put little leather straps on the biceps, so he has got the he has three red stripes on both arms. So it is on there, but you can't see it in that shot. But it's just really brilliantly made, and the headdress just goes on and off really nicely, doesn't scrape the paint or anything, and love it.
Nice.
How about yourself, mate?
Super jealous. So my Luke finally turned up.
Yep.
Not DHL, Parcel Force finally delivered it in the end. It's great. I wish I'd never got rid of my DX set, if I'm honest.
Figure,
it's great. And to be fair, the battle damage one was always my favourite. So this I traded my Galaxy's Edge saber for it.
Yep.
And I got so it was the battle damaged Luke, the battle damaged DX Luke, the DX stand, not the little oval stand, and all the accessories apart from the. So back in the day, they never had the removable blades. It all just came with one.
Yeah, you got one with a blade and one without. Yeah.
Would you believe all the blue blades I've got won't fit any of the two sabers I've got?
Really?
So because that saber he's got there, he has it. So that saber, Rey has it, Anakin has it. They've done that saber so many different times. So I thought that's all right. I've got even my crate Luke, he's got one, but the blades are all too thick, won't fit in the DX one. I was like,
right, okay.
But there was a little bit of damage to the figure, nothing major. I think the traditional stuff like the magnet on the holster, long gone. I think at some point someone had tried to glue it and made a bit of a hash of it, but it's a battle damage figure.
Yeah, mine's the same. Mine, the strap just hangs loose on mine. It doesn't.
I'll just tuck it in like I've done on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then I need to either 3D print or make one the little hook for the saber, because that's not on there. That's
that's easy enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's I love it, and I think and it came with the weather vane as well. That's up in the loft at the moment.
Okay.
But, so by the looks of it, he'd nailed it up. And because it sits on the way the weather vane works is you have your piece that you screw into the ceiling or display case or whatever. Then the whole weather vane, you screw it all together, and when you push it on and twist it, it locks in place. It must have been up for a while because it's seized. It's not coming off, so it's just got these fucking spikes.
I remember seeing the post and him saying that.
Yeah, so I was just going to spray it with a load of silicone WD-40 I've got and get it out, but the weather vane's so big it won't even fit in one of these cubes. It's too big.
It's an odd one, isn't it? I mean, it's cool if you can display it like that, but it's big.
Well, I want it because I've been so busy with work and painting stuff and shit like that. My collection's really just taken a back seat for a little bit. Yeah. So what I wanted to do, because of the way, so the weather vane, you get a stand, so you can stand it up instead of screwing it to anything.
Right.
And the top hinges like that, so it kind of leans up against stuff.
Okay.
The only problem is it must be a dodgy one, because you have the arms that come out at the top, and where it bends. So the last one I had, when it bent round, it bent between the two arms.
Okay.
This doesn't. It literally goes like that and hits onto an arm, so you can't bend it flat.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was use the little stand bit, but get a recip saw or something and just cut about 2-3 inches off of it, so it would just then slot in the stand, and I could have it in the display case.
Yeah.
But the issue I've kind of got then is I've got too many big things. Like I'll be in the same situation as I've got with Jabba, where it just takes up way too much. Way too much space. So I need to think about that. But at the moment it's in the loft, and I figure I can stick it up there and I don't have to worry about it for now.
No.
And then I've been busy pissing around with Vader sculpts. So the one I think I showed everyone last week with the blasted out eye, I finally got around to painting that up and gluing it all together. And I've managed to figure out, well, it's weird because I use a program called Mesh Mixer. I got her in the end. So to make the hole in the bottom for pegs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I do it with this, it makes the hole in the bottom absolutely fine, no worries. When I do it just on the collar piece to just have the unmasked Vader, it will not do it for love nor money. It just disintegrates the bottom of it. So I need to try and figure that out. But I've done this, and I did another like version 2 battle damage, whatever you want to call it, where the whole top of the helmet is like blown off.
Okay.
The only problem I had with that, because on the software, I literally take the shore scope, put it inside of the helmet after I've cut sections away.
Okay.
So the only way I could get it to fit in so that it kind of fit in properly was to kind of elongate everything a little bit. And on the computer, it didn't look that bad. It looked fine. After 8 hours of printing it out, from the front, it looks great, but from the side, it just looks too odd.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck.
Too long.
Yeah, and then it made a little hole in my in the FEP. So the vat has like a clear bottom that's just like clear plastic, and it's stretched.
Right.
So, and the idea is that the UV light shines up through the bottom of the printer, through this, and it cures each layer as it goes. So there's a tiny hole somewhere, because when I lifted it off, it wasn't leaking, but there was a bit of dried resin on there, and I was like, something's happened there. I've got a perfect little C shape in it, and I'm like, so that's leaked. It has to have leaked.
Yeah.
So before I can do anything else, I need to take 5 minutes, change the FEP. So I'm hoping if I'm going to be working at home a lot more, I can get away with printing a lot more.
Yeah.
And then the idea is to print a few of these and offer them for sale painted.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple of these other ones. But the plan was to take the chest box, the belt boxes, reconstruct them in mesh mixer, battle damage them up, and offer it as a set.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, it's really good.
But I need to, again, it's all time. It's all time I haven't had.
Yes. Yeah,
I need to sit and properly look at it and scale it and then test print it and do all that kind of stuff. And then maybe, you know, charge an absolute fortune just for some battle damage shit.
Yeah, no, you've done well. Yeah. You've got up to speed pretty quick with that, all that gear, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. The hardest bit is the software. Like, you would just assume that you'd be able to like drag and drop in this day and age in 2020. You would assume that you can drag and drop stuff and you can just highlight, circle things you want to get rid of and all of that. It doesn't work like that. It really does not work like that. So yeah, I've had to learn, but hopefully in 2 weeks' time I'll have my Mando because I got my shipping my notification from Sideshow that it's coming into their warehouse on Tuesday.
We'll have a race because mine's now been apparently in the air for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Danny's come up with a good question. Does the UK lockdown affect shipping in and out? I think Ryan pretty much covered that. We've only just gone back into lockdown today, but the last lockdown it was a bit slower. Not bad considering. So I was still shipping stuff throughout lockdown. Yeah. Post offices are classed as essential, so they're open. Yeah. And I was using DHL pretty much all the way through lockdown with them picking stuff up and dropping it off.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was, I think stuff I shipped to like America was like 35, 40 quid. And it got there within like 5 days in the middle of the pandemic.
I was really impressed. So, I haven't really come across any delays. I think the problem with my Mando is because I didn't pay for EMS, then it's just coming China Post. And when I've had a look, it says it could take 3 to 4 weeks. So
yeah, my Daft Toys set, the Bane one. That was China Post.
Yeah, that took about a month, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it took ages.
So we'll see if either of us have got ours by next show.
I bet we won't.
No,
I bet we'll be sitting here just looking at tracking,
going, "Oh man, I really want that figure," but I can't stop. I can't look at pictures of it now. It's upsetting me. I want mine.
Thing is, it makes me want the Beskar version as well now.
Yeah.
So
you can still get on a pre-order for that one.
Yeah, I'm tempted to be fair,
and it'll be cheaper than what we're paying for the current one, probably. But yeah, depends.
Ryan says, "Nice. I'm going to grab the Mando and Payday as well. You guys picking up the Sideshow Child." I think we got that on the show sheet. We are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much adverse now to pre-ordering anything that's it's coming out in like 2022 and stuff like that. Like, I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it.
No.
Particularly when like you look at like for us in the UK, we pre-order it. We pre-order it from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 300 quid. Just an average figure is going to be about 300 quid.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well just order through Sideshow then and get points. Yeah. Like, it just seems to make more sense now. But I'll let you know in 2 weeks when I go. They fucking stung me an absolute fortune for import. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. We'll have some first-hand experience then, so that'd be good because we haven't. I don't know too much about. I see stuff on the post about people saying, "Oh, how much would I get charged for Sideshow and all this kind of thing?" So people are obviously doing it to the UK, but it'd be good to see how that works out.
Yeah, and then we had a load of new releases this week.
Two of them.
A whole two of them that we've clocked. Nebula, 227 quid. As far as I'm concerned, worth every penny. That is fucking shrink ray right there.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And I can see that going the way of Yondu.
Yep.
It's just a shame I'm just not into Marvel anymore.
No, I know. It just seems like this is so old now. You know, that because Avengers Endgame been and gone, and we're kind of all back into Star Wars with the Mando and everything, and it's a fantastic figure. But I'm just sort of thinking, who's still collecting the Marvel stuff? It's
I agree.
And we still got Gamora to come,
Yep.
and Professor Hulk, all of those bloody quantum suits.
Yeah,
They're still not way from being done.
See, I agree.
Endgame
I agree
line.
with what Dean said about. I've got a sneaking feeling this was probably Guardians, and they
Right.
went because I don't think the. I mean, it's easily fixed. It's a bit of paint, but I think the head plate is the wrong color. It's like the color for Guardians or something.
Okay.
So I reckon they probably.
Because didn't she have an orange one or something in the?
Yeah.
In Endgame. Yeah.
But I mean, I like it, and it's relatively cheap compared to most of the stuff we've got on the show sheet. So if I was into Marvel, I'd definitely be getting it.
How much is that going for then?
227.
Okay. Yeah.
Off Toys Wonderland. So you got shipping, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's bad days when we have to say that that's a cheap figure, but
I know.
If it comes in substantially under 300 quid, then it is in that cheaper.
I mean, I'm looking at
now.
prices now, and I'm kind of going. Unless I really, really want it, I'm just gonna be content to combing the groups for broken shit because it's getting. I mean, we'll talk about it later. There's a couple of things on here that I'm like, they can fuck off. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think obviously it's getting harder because not only have we had, the lockdown where a lot of people have been like yourself, you went down to 4 days. So you've had your income reduced, but also, I mean, myself, they panned the pay rise this year, and that could be several years to come. So these things, the affordability of them is becoming a stretch for kind of us normal folk because we're earning less than we were, say, last year. Things are more expensive, and these prices keep going up. And I mean, I always kind of said that I wouldn't be paying 250 plus for figures, but
I always said as soon as figures got above 300, I was going to duck out.
I know, but then you
just too cool.
It pulls you back in again. But you have to be more discerning, I think, of like what you buy. And as you say, a lot of the stuff we do, we buy used on the groups, or we make customs and stuff. But
and I think when you look at, because it annoys me when people go, "This isn't Hot Toys' fault," and it does. So 100% Hot Toy. If you go to China and you live in Hong Kong and you buy these figures, they are not this expensive.
No,
right?
Nowhere near.
Because you're not paying someone to queue up. You're not paying someone to ship it. We've been through it loads of times before that you have a large chunk of that price. It's like last show when we were talking about petrol. There's a big old tax on these that people are charging because they've had to queue up. They've had to pay people to do that.
Yeah.
And, there's a whole business that's popped up around it. But Hot Toys are aware of that. They get that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you look in America, Sideshow are doing exactly the same thing. They put their big chunk on it, which is why when we look at prices, Sideshow actually is about, whereas Hong Kong used to be really cheap, they're about level now. So for me,
it's become a big business now, isn't it?
Yeah. So for me, it's more about customer service and like reward points and things like that. Because if I'm going to be spending the same kind of money, at least with Sideshow, I kind of know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
There's no chance of them going dark tomorrow.
Because this figure probably, if you walked into Secret Base, whatever, you'd have paid what, 150, 160 probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
About that, I reckon.
So, yeah.
But and that's the thing. It's just getting.
Yeah.
But this is what, going back to my original point about why I get pissed off with Hot Toys. They know this happens, and they know that there's a massive market for these around the world. So why not start opening up stores within different countries themselves? And they would make money. They would make the cost that it would take to set these stores up and import the stock in themselves. They'd make that back easily.
Yeah,
easy.
I know.
And I don't care what anyone says. There's certain people who like spout absolute nonsense about it wouldn't be cost effective.
Of course it would.
And I'll tell you what, when we talk about the deluxe Venom,
Mm-hmm.
that's why it would be fucking, if they charged £100 off of that, people would still pay it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And I think if they were to actually have like a store that people could see, they would increase their, the market as well, because this is still very much like a sort of quite an underground hobby in the UK, because you can't go into a shop. You will never walk into a shop and see these figures.
Yeah.
You might
get Forbidden Planet and places like that.
Yeah, or you might get, your local comic book store might have the odd figure, or taken one on a trade or something. But it's a world that you kind of stumble into, and then you have to
rarity to find.
Yeah, and then you just find the ways, and you find the groups, and you find the things. But I think if they had an actual store, they'd get a lot more casual trade. But
I think I just don't understand why they don't open up stores in different countries themselves.
No.
And then we're going back in time now. Whiplash.
Long way. When was
way.
This?
So this came out the other day. Yeah. And the figure's exactly the same as the last version. £260. They've reused the same fucking stand. They've used it 1,000 times.
Did it have the Terminator stand originally?
No, it just had an oval stand.
Yeah.
But I think Jason Nelson had his original one in the groups. I think it's exactly the same.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
Yeah.
This is a straight
very,
out,
very odd choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even think this was that popular. I didn't think it was something that people were like, "Oh, I really wish I jumped on that at the time."
No. I think it's an okay figure. It's well made, but it's
not offensive.
No,
£260. I'm out. That's not for me. To be fair,
no, and it's quite you got to be a big fan of that character, I think, to want to go with that.
But that's it for new releases. That was it for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then this dropped today, which has got a lot of people jizzing in their pants. It's the venomized Venom.
Venomized Venom that finally went there.
That we've been asking for a while. So this is the deluxe version that comes in at £386 and is out Q1, Q2 2022. Even if it's very cool. I really like it. Just what's the point? What is the point of pre-ordering it? I don't see. It's not going to sell out in 2 years.
No.
It's this thing. It's getting to the point now where we're pushing nearly £400 and out in 2 years' time for a movie that was out a couple of years ago that really didn't do that well. But it's for me. This is more about the character than it is about the film.
Oh, definitely. I think.
And like Steve said in our chat, there's going to be people painting a spider on that.
Yeah.
Left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I think if you're into Spider-Man, you've got a Spider-Man collection, then it's a must-have. But just that price is
it's a lot. I mean, it's going to be a lot bigger than the standard one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But when you look at how much they've charged, I mean, when you look at how much they charge for other bigger figures like Hulk and things like that, £386. That's a lot of money.
Although the Hulks go for 300, 350 now.
What, on release?
No, I mean now.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. I mean, I think I got the Avengers Hulk for. I think when I bought him, it was about 180.
Yeah,
but that's going back. That was about 2012, 2013.
Yeah, it's going back a fair bit.
Yeah, so they go for about double that now. So I suppose they'd be like, well, actually, that's a sort of ballpark figure for this kind of size of. I mean, he's probably not quite as big as the Hulk. I don't think his hands look.
No, he looks big, more tall than wide like the Hulk.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it's a great figure. I like the look of it. Mm-hmm. This is what people have been wanting for a while. Yeah, like, stop giving us Venomized versions. Just give us Venom. So they finally did it. The thing is, I think at the moment it's almost like they have these figures sitting in the back, and where they've been caning like Avengers and all that kind of stuff for such a long time, they've now gone, all right, let's get that shit out of the back now. We've run out of stuff.
Yeah,
Have Venom from like fucking 4 years ago, and have this and have that.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing I can say about the long wait time is that you've got plenty of time. Once you pay your deposit, you know, it might be 380 quid, but you've only got to put away 20 quid a month, and you know, you've got it. So look at it that way, rather than as a big lump, and then it's not quite so bad as long as you've not got another 20 odd figures you're paying for as well.
But let's be honest, with most people's collections, if you go back 2 years ago, is it the same?
Yeah, no.
So that's why I don't really pre-order stuff anymore, because I might have a big change of mind in even 6 months' time and go, actually, I'm gonna move in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think very much when you first get into the hobby, you're kind of trying to find your feet, aren't you? You're more impulsive. Oh, that figure looks great, and you get it, and like we've talked about, and then but it's got nothing to go with it, and you end up pushing it to the side. I think if I look at my collection, if I think what my collection might look like in 2 years, I think it'll be a lot
indie,
more. Yeah. But it'll probably be very similar, because now I've really, you know, locked
kind
it
of
down.
Settled in.
Yeah, definitely. And not to say that, you know, one or two figures would join it, and maybe some go, but overall, you know, I think but then that's, you know, nearly 10 years of collecting, and I've sold more figures than I currently own, because I've had so many different, you know, changes of interests and things like that, and buying a lot of figures on impulse just because I saw them at a good price. But that's quite cool, because if you get them for a decent price, you can just sell them for the same price.
Yeah. Like Ryan says, I've wasted so much money on cancelled pre-orders. Never again.
And sometimes you just got to get it in hand. You know, they always say, "Oh, photos don't do it justice." They don't sometimes. You've got to get it in hand. If you don't like it, your odds on you're not going to. You know, you can sell it on. You might lose 10, 20 quid. Or you might make a few quid. So, but yeah, I think, as you say, you probably got to be a very strong Spider-Man fan and know that you're still going to have a good Spider-Man collection by the time this comes out. But we've got some other stuff coming up which might help with that. A few slides on. So we then have this guy, which you know anything about anti-Venom?
In the comics and stuff, it's effectively like an albino Venom.
And it glows in the dark.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, it's another type of symbiote that's fights Venom and the other symbiotes. Other than that, I can't remember much about it. But they've just inverted the paintwork on that last hideous Venom that they had.
Yeah, it's got like 5 points of articulation or something. And
I mean, I couldn't find a price on this, thank fuck. But
no,
it's just this to me is like a scaled up version of those things you get in those 20p machines.
Yeah. It's not good.
No,
I don't really understand it. I think that they're cheapening their brand, I think, with stuff like this.
Yeah,
I know they do the
again,
cosplays and that, but
like we said before, like if they do the same old stuff, we have a pop. If they do something a bit different, we have a pop. But we're just miserable bastards anyway. But we are. Yeah, this I just don't get.
So what's Carnage? Is he another symbiote?
He's another symbiote. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think in the Venom film there were quite a few different symbiotes.
Yeah.
And in the comics there's a whole raft of different ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, Carnage is actually pretty savage. Like
he's really worse than like Venom, isn't he? He's just kind of like proper,
he's just
unhinged.
Yeah, because he joins with this fucking mental patient who's a bit of a bastard in a way. So he But this I don't know much about, to be fair.
No.
I don't want to know much about it.
Not really, no. It glows in the dark. Lovely.
Yeah. Kids will love it.
So here we are. So this
Spider-Man broke the internet. Yeah. So this is the Toys era Green Goblin. It costs you 137 quid without a glider and 195 with the glider. And it's out January to March 2021, a far more reasonable time for it to come out. I think this looks fantastic.
It does, yeah. He's still one of my favourite villains. I think Willem Dafoe's fantastic anyway. But yeah, I just don't know. I just love the design. I think he came across as like really evil in that film, and
I mean, I think someone's going to have to re-release a Raimi Spider-Man. Even if Toys Era or someone does, like it just. We got Doc Ock. We've got this. Like,
it's crying out for it. It'd be great display. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the glider on this looks fantastic. The mask looks great. Because I think even if it came with a Defoe head, I don't think if I had this, I would actually display it with a Defoe head.
No.
It would be on the glider.
And I've already seen 2 or 3 people posting up some 3D renders of Defoe heads. So they're getting ready for this. But yeah, I think it's great. I mean, if I was heavily into Spider-Man and I had a Spider-Man display, I definitely want this front and center.
And the price, 195 with the glider.
With the glider, I mean, that's
140 without. Like that's cheap as shit.
And the thing is, it's a no-brainer. You got to get the deluxe with the glider for 50 quid more.
Big time.
Looks great. So I look forward to seeing if that one comes out looking as good as it does here.
It looks fantastic.
And I suppose posability, because you want to get him quite low down on the glider.
Yeah, it all depends what the suit's going to be made.
Yeah. And obviously the whole durability kind of issue again. But it looks good. It's a good one, that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we had
Yawn.
the Midas. Yeah. So this is the 20th anniversary. Hot Toys have pumped out another Iron Man. They've taken a little break from PS4 Spider-Man. The Midas, 390 quid, Q4 2020 to Q1 2021. It's very gold.
Yeah, because they released this before, didn't they, as just an all plastic one?
Yes.
And this is kind of like the die cast. I mean, look, some people love it. I've heard some people think it's amazing, but what's the price on this one?
$390, I think.
So again, pushing that 400, and it doesn't seem that long ago that I was having a real issue with paying 300 for the Mark 46. And that, and in 2 years we're now 100 quid on top of that. It's scary, really.
I mean, look, it's Iron Man. People like Iron Man. Hot Toys, Howard Chan, all that, they love Iron Man. So it kind of makes sense. 20th anniversary, find a big gold Iron Man. Happy days. It's just not for me.
We'll put up Ryan's comment there. 3PO. Good point.
Yeah.
I've seen people saying they're going to buy this as a stand-in for 3PO.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why we. Yeah, I just don't know why
it's difficult to understand. I mean, we don't understand what goes on there. They've teased him in both of their R2D2 releases.
Yeah, but I just think they got hold of the sideshow.
They probably did. Fixed the thumbs, or got one that had the fix. But it is disappointing because I would like to see what they could do with, especially if they could do die cast. It would be amazing because I've never had the Tamashi one in hand, but people gush about that.
Yeah.
But a proper Hot Toys, and I'd want it weathered. I wouldn't want it shiny as fuck like the Tamashi one. I'd want a episode 4. Kind of battered, weathered one. But yeah, I don't know. Will we ever see it? It's an odd one.
I don't think so. Not anytime soon.
No.
I think there's certain characters that they won't do, probably because of licensing. I think C3PO is among them. But yeah, that guy.
Well, Anthony Daniels a bit of a perfect cock these days, so maybe he's saying that.
Yeah, maybe.
Not that it's his likeness, but
mind you, it's fucking bread and butter, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, what else has he done?
Exactly.
They even made him a little fat suit version for the recent trilogy.
Yeah, it was the only robot that fucking put on weight.
Yeah. Funny. This is why it's like, well, if that's the only one they release, it doesn't look right because he's too podgy. The Force Awakens.
I mean,
but again, we never saw those either.
No, again, it was previewed, but then again, they did that with Django, and then like 5 years later. So in another 5 years,
I'd say never, but
yeah,
it just shows that you can't. You got to do a bit of mix and matching between the different brands to get your whole lineup.
Yeah, well, I think we've always said if you just stick with Hot Toys, then you're missing a trick.
You are, yeah. You can have it as your mainstay, and a lot of their stuff is brilliant. But sometimes you've got to go some of the older Sideshow figures.
And there's also some stuff that Sideshow does that actually, for the price difference, is worth picking up.
Yeah,
like the Sideshow R2, like. You can pick them up for 130 quid, and people will charge you like 200 for a Hot Toys, and you think, actually, Arthur, I mean, that one I had up, that's Sideshow, and looks absolutely fine, right? Yeah. I think sometimes we get a bit blinded by Hot Toys and go, Hot Toys is the best. Hot Toys is the best.
Yeah, I have to have that one and nothing else. Yeah. Well, no, actually, you can compromise 5% and get something just almost as good for, half the price. I mean, that deluxe R2 is still like 260, 270. That is a heck of a lot of money. And you're not going to use all those little arms and bits and pieces.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the Force Awakens and it's nice. But it's expensive. It was expensive at the time, and the deluxe was just even more.
Yeah.
So.
So
and then I don't know anything about this one. You can...
So this added on the show sheet because it jumped out on was it KG Hobby or somewhere, one of their Facebook groups.
Yeah.
So this is the ECAS or ACAS or whatever you want to call it, Studios Grim Reaper. So it's effectively Hank from Resi 2.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's 175 quid out Q2 2021, and it looks pretty good. I've been playing back through the Resident Evil games. I've been, like I said, playing back through the remake of Resi 3.
Yeah.
And when I was around my mate's house, he was playing Resident Evil 2 and he was playing the bit with Hank. And it's really good. So any Resi fan, this is probably one for them to pick up.
The gear looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the bits that really impressed me was all the accessories and all the gear looks spot on.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of the company before.
No.
Yeah, it looked pretty good, so I thought I'd whack it on the show sheet.
Does look good,
yeah. And then so they showed the Mando on speed bike with the child and his little satchel.
Minor spoiler really there. It's in the first episode, but we won't say any more at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's him sitting on a speed bike. It was all over Facebook for
I know
fucking ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. I really like it. The speed bike looks fucking massive. I don't know where I would put it if I got it.
This is the thing. It's I wouldn't have room to display it. It's nice if you got it. I'm not sold on that base. That looks a bit cheap and cheerful. But then again, it's just standing.
Get the impression that's a bendy arm.
It is a bendy arm, yeah. It's just the actual rock thing looks a bit, that needs a better paint job. But
it looks like a cover to me. Like it slips over the top.
I hope not,
because you'd have to have quite a heavy base.
Yeah, you would
for that bike not to. Yeah. Particularly if you look at that bike's leaning over the edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. And that obviously
Mando looks great.
Yeah, so this is obviously a season 2 Mando, so it'll be the third iteration of Mando. I think he's got. Is it which armor? Is it his right thigh or his left thigh that changes?
I
never noticed, to be honest.
No,
everyone's going on about the thigh piece, and I'm like, I can't really tell what.
No,
what
and do you know what I shout at my phone when I'm listening to podcasts and stuff that people are going, oh, do you know what? I'm going to wait to the end of series 2, and then I'm going to decide, and then I'm going to pre-order, and I'm like, why?
You'd be waiting 4 or 5 years, won't you?
If you keep doing that, you will never have a figure.
You'll never have one, no.
Because you'll go, oh, they've just announced Series 3. Well, actually, if I wait for Series 3, then I'll see
wow,
what he's got, and I can choose out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's the most ridiculous thing. If you look back through the show sheet, right? Venom 2022, 2 years out.
Mm-hmm.
Why wait that long? Like, if you want a silver Beskar Mando, just get Series 2 for fuck's sake. Sorry, the Series 1 Mando that's due out in like June. You've then got 2 years to enjoy that figure.
Yeah.
And then if you pre-order this and you get it, fantastic. Sell the other one. Like,
and you won't lose much on it.
You won't
it might
lose
be
anything.
Worth more than you paid for it, you know?
Yeah. So I just don't understand the whole I'm gonna constantly look on the horizon and see what's coming before I buy anything, because you will never have anything.
You'll have an empty cupboard with a printout of all the pre-orders you've got. Look at my collection.
Yeah. And especially over a thigh piece.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can get a thigh piece. It's not a problem.
And that's important. It's you know,
and still, even if it was even if he somehow lost the armor and he got a whole different set, it doesn't matter. It's so far in the future that it comes out. We're not talking back in the good old days of collecting, where things were shown, they were part for pre-order, and within a year they'd be out. We're talking 2 years, and that keeps getting longer and longer and longer. It just doesn't make sense to me to not. And
also with, you know, you couldn't
get one.
No, and this is an ongoing series, and I'm sure it's going to have many seasons while it's as popular as it is.
Yeah.
It's, you know, there's going to be a lot more figures coming out from this line. And are you going to... I'll
tell you now, if Mandalorian doesn't get a third series, I'll slam my bollocks in the door.
Yep.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Definitely. And if you love it that much, but you know you're foregoing the chance to have a cool figure in your collection for 2 years because you're waiting for the next one, then more for you, I'd say.
Yeah. Like I can't get my head around it. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would keep waiting and waiting for this series to be over. It just doesn't. I mean, to be fair, Danny, a Venomized version of Mando, I wouldn't put it past them.
Bring it on.
I would not put it past them.
That's going to be the tie-in of the year in episode 3.
But yeah, Mando on the speed bike.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then this looks beautiful.
Yes, it does. I mean, so quarter scale Mando.
Yeah.
523 quid, out due October to December 2021. So we've almost got a year. So again, kind of going back to the good old days, we've got a year.
Yeah.
Right? This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of the base. It does seem like someone's thrown up Mandalorian stuff.
It's weird. It's more like the sort of thing you see on a statue, I think, sometimes, you know.
Yeah. But what I do like is it looks like the E-Web cannon and stuff like that comes off.
It does, because there's a shot of him holding it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but to be fair, there's nothing forcing people to buy the version with that base.
No.
And most quarter scale bases seem to be fucking massive, which I don't quite understand.
No.
But I really like the look of this.
Oh, I'd love it, but I don't know. I don't think I could justify the price.
Well, it's not. If you look at how much Venom cost, it's only about £100 more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, and there's just some. So I mean, I don't have. I've never owned a quarter scale posable figure. The only one I've got is my premium format indie. But I think they've got a real presence about them from what what I've seen of.
They're definitely a centerpiece.
Yeah.
But I don't like mixing scales, and that's the thing.
Yeah, I know. He'd be a real standout, wouldn't he? And it would get to the point where you're like, I love him, but he just doesn't fit in.
I'd almost want him just in a cube on his own.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of my when I get my Mando, he's not going to go in the display cabinets because he won't go with the OT stuff. He's literally going to be on my table, and I'm just going to like repose him every week and just have fun with him, really.
Yeah,
because it looks like that kind of figure, and obviously, you know,
I've no idea where I'm going to put it.
No
idea. I'm going to have a shunt round and try and figure bits out. Like I say, I want to sell some stuff, but it's just not the right time to sell anything. The groups are flooded with stuff. So
yeah, but that looks really cool. So I do like that. Yeah. I mean, I love that shot on the left. I just put that in there because it just looks
it looks really
so
good.
natural. Looks really good.
Yeah, it's like a man in a suit. It's
brilliant. Definitely. Yeah, I love it.
And then they had the child.
Yeah, so you can buy him separately.
Yep.
I don't know why you would, but
no. And sorry, you did say this is quarter scale as well, isn't it?
It is quarter scale. Yeah, so it's basically the same one you get in here.
Yeah,
you can buy him on his own.
This is 133 quid.
Yeah.
That is
on Sideshow, so plus a bit of shipping.
So if that's it on Sideshow plus shipping, of probably about 30 quid, so 160, and then you got tax on that, so
200.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad, but
no,
that's going to be about the size of a 1/6 scale figure.
As I say, it's still going to be pretty small, isn't it?
Because you can look, they give you a 6 scale base.
Yeah,
one of the old New Hope bases spray black.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know why you would want that on its own. To be fair,
no, it seems it's a bit of an odd one because it works perfectly with if you've got Mando, but I'm not quite sure why you'd want it on its own. But it's an option. It's there. Looks okay.
Yeah. I mean,
looks like
you
he's
can buy
taking a
Mando
shit
on his own, I
in that
it
big
does.
farm where he's grimacing.
Mando go poo poo.
But then he probably does. He's only a baby. I don't know if he wears nappies or.
Don't know. We haven't got to that part in Series 2 yet.
No.
Where the child takes a massive dump.
And the Mando's trying to find a baby changing mat.
Yeah. Good job he's got a helmet on. You have to smell it. So that 133 quid. That's not too bad.
Still my favourite base. I love those bases. I've got tons of those in my collection.
Yeah.
I bought up loads of them at the time when you could get them pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're simple.
They are simple. I like the fact that they've got they've got a 3D structure to them and not just these throwaway cardboard inserts that they give you now. They're not the same.
I mean, to be fair, I part of me just wishes they never moved away from the oval stance.
Yeah.
Because they didn't take up hardly any room.
No, that's the thing. You could get a lot more figures in with those.
And then this Steve showed us this. I've no idea what this is all about.
Jesus.
So this is the full title of the figure. The Chong Toys 1/6 scale Dowson figure. This is Jack from the Titanic. 96 quid, so guess you can't complain too much. Q1, Q2 2020. So Q1, Q2 2020. 2021. I was going to say it's released back.
It's that already.
It's that already.
Yuck. I mean, I don't mind Titanic, but I find he's a bit of a whiny brat in that film, and I don't know. It just looks those trousers look horrible.
So I think
Action Man.
There's a bit of a trend going on at the moment where these third-party companies are getting hold of like the quite limited custom pieces.
Yeah, because I've seen some customs of this recently.
Yeah, I have as well, and they're stupidly expensive.
They are,
and only certain types of people are buying them.
Yeah,
they're the type of collectors who have their head up their ass, who are like, there's only like 6 of these in the world.
Yes, I've got this guy, and
it's art, it's not figures.
Goes
and all
my,
that nonsense.
My Stuart Little and my No Country for Old Men, whatever that guy's called,
and my Grinch that I have to display all year round to get the money's worth, like that kind of fucking nonsense. So you watch, we'll see a fucking Grinch next. So there's this trend at the moment where their stuff is getting recast, and this is the result.
So in this here with the pictures, do we have I can't work them out. We have a little 1/6 drawing of Kate Winslet's titties
with her tits out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that make it worth 96 quid?
No. No.
I mean, look, someone out there is probably a big. Well, someone's mum is probably a big Titanic fan.
Yeah.
Perfect gift
for
Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Christmas next year.
Yeah. And I think if you throw this in the bath, it sinks, so it's oddly accurate.
He has to be in a really cold bath.
Yeah, anything in a hot bath, he just floats to the top. Cold bath, he sinks.
He does.
Not a problem. Yeah. I think the deluxe of this comes with a door that's clearly big enough for 2 people.
Yeah.
But
She's
yeah.
just like, and you get the Rose figure, and she's just spread out on it. Go, no, there's
Yeah.
no room. There's no room for you.
No room. I'm a
Bye.
sprawler. No room. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So that was that's fucking appalling. But this is brilliant.
Much better.
So soosoo Toys have put up their detective vigilante Robin. It's Robin. Fucking tastic. It looks really good. I prefer this to the other version we saw. I think the head sculpt is so much better. The suit looks great. I was a fan of the show, and I think this is brilliant. And this would look great with pretty much most of the Batman figures that are out.
Any Batman,
yeah. They
barring maybe
killing it.
A Keaton wouldn't work, but I think any of the video game ones,
Keaton, Adam West are probably off the table for this one.
Yeah, but I think BVS it would go really well with.
I think it would.
Any of the Arkham ones, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you're going to get one of these?
I'm tempted.
I'm
tempted. 117 quid. January to March.
Oh mate, 117. That's a giveaway. That is.
Yeah, I know.
That's rude not to.
I am tempted. Like I say, and
I had their Flash, and I thought it was a really good figure.
Yeah, the stuff they've done, their Daredevil stuff they've done in the past has been really good.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I'm waiting for someone to come out of the woodwork and go, "That's my sculpt."
Yeah, you've stolen my sculpt, and they're like, "Okay, it's 10 quid."
Yeah,
they always get accused of it. I mean, I don't know who's the nicked because
I think they're the type of company that look at what's being released, look at the market and what people want, and they release things accordingly. I think sometimes it has been a little bit suspect that someone announces something, then 2 seconds later, like, oh, here's ours.
It's a bit one of those odd things. You quite often get that. It's like with the movie world as well. You quite often get two figures that come out, from different companies at very much the same time. Yeah, which is great because you
gives you a bit more choice.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was Robin, and then they put this up, which actually showed their Nightwing as well.
Yeah.
And for some reason as well, also Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the old Matt Murdock. That can't be a new one. Like it wouldn't make sense for them to release a new one. But Nightwing looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I want both. I want Robin and I want Nightwing. They look brilliant.
Yeah.
So but we had no price on Nightwing. They haven't dropped it.
No, it's too early. I think it's a bit of a tease, but I don't imagine it's going to be much different to the Robin.
No, I can't see it being a lot
because it's going to be quite a lot on accessories. He's going to have his batons but
I think that's all they're going to give you.
Yeah, exactly. So Robin's only got his bow staff, his R's and his staff. I think probably very similar.
Yeah. You can tell when they're quite light in accessories when they count the belt in the accessory panel.
Yeah. He has a belt.
His trousers won't fall down. Look. He's noticed that figures don't come with belts.
He will be. He's all over this. If it's got a belt, he's in. He doesn't if he doesn't know who it is.
Yeah, he's in. So and then
our mate Steve.
Yeah, so Steve brought this up. So it looks like Sylvester Stallone has teamed up with a toy company. I don't know who. It doesn't say. But there's going to be an officially licensed 1/6 scale Cobra figure. From the render looks really good.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
So I'm really interested in this.
I think it's cool because I think it'd be nice if this has come off the back of because I saw pictures of him with the is it 3-0 Rambo figure, and I just get the impression that he was probably really so impressed with that he thought I'm going to get in on this.
Yeah,
because that was a stunning figure, and I think it's cool if he's getting on board with that and his own licensing because there's going to be it could be the first of many. I don't really remember much about Cobra, to be honest. It's a long time since I've seen it.
I need to dig it out and watch it again because it has been a while. He's really good from what I remember.
Yeah,
I've got a list of stuff. So I've got a list of stuff that I just need to go back through and watch.
Yeah.
But so this will make Steve a very, very happy boy.
Yeah, definitely.
Very happy boy. And that was it, really, wasn't it? There wasn't much announced other than that.
Reasonably light, yeah.
Yeah, so onto TV, movies, and film. So just a little warning for everyone at the very end of the show, because we love you all. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian, just in case you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
But for the time being, there was a little preview popped up on Facebook, and it looks like Netflix are doing an Assassin's Creed TV series, and that is about all the information that they shared on that.
Yeah. I just pulled that image from the video, which has nothing in it.
It is literally this. This
early,
is what they showed. Yeah. So I'm hoping this is going to be really good. I really like the film that was out with Fassbender. Yeah, Michael Refreshment.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of mileage in this, especially if they kind of go along with the games that have been released. So you've got a season per character, or per game, whatever.
They can really pump this out.
And there's been 6 or 7 games now, because Valhalla is the
it's the newest one.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of mileage in that.
Big time.
So it could be really good.
Big time. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So once we know a bit more, we'll let you all know.
Maybe end of next year, is it, or sometime next year? No,
it didn't say. I think the problem is with a lot of the release schedules at the moment is that they're just all over the show.
Yeah, they don't really know. Yeah, it's difficult.
No, because they just don't know what's going on, which is fair enough. Like I'll let them off, and then Superman and Lois is out February 23rd. They finally said CW finally said when it's coming out.
Have they been putting out by Collecting Weekly? Is it? Have we got that? Is that how far we've come? We're making our own TV show. That's how far we've come.
Now. Yeah. So I can't remember what it stands for.
No, I don't.
But it's been about for age since the Flash came out.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to this. I'm hoping it's kind of in the same vein as Lois and Clark. Because that was because Dean Cain was like my Superman. That's the Superman I think of when I think of Superman, because that's the one I grew up with. So I'm hoping this is kind of in that same vein.
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been an actual Superman TV series for a while.
No.
And to be fair, the guy, I can't remember his name, but every time he pops up in Supergirl and in like the Flash and stuff like that, he's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to this. This will be on my watch.
So is this the Superman that's been in the other series? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's him and the woman in that who plays Lois.
Okay.
It's their thing. So I'm guessing Supergirl will crop up in here now and again. But it's solely on Superman and Lois, which should be good. So I thought the group shenanigans. We haven't had a good moan up in ages.
No, we haven't.
And so I've noticed, and I know things. I don't know if it's just because everyone's getting stressed out at the moment about just life in general. Yeah. It's difficult. We all get that, but I've noticed a couple of and this is just an example. So I've noticed a couple of people who offer custom pieces and commissions and stuff like that. And now I know from first-hand experience, when I look at the side of stuff I've got to do for people, it gets stressful, right? Yeah. There are, you'll have people messaging you. You get people who you complete jobs and then they just don't. Yeah. They go dark, or I'm having issues and problems. So
it's not your full-time job. You got a full-time job. You got a family.
You're trying to juggle everything, so things get stressful. But there's nothing wrong with putting on your Facebook page that you're one person. Allow a bit of time for answering the messages and stuff like that. But I've noticed so many different sort of creators and artists and stuff just go off the handle on their Facebook pages. And I think if I hadn't dealt with you before, I would probably look at that and go, nah, they just seem really aggressive.
If I get a problem or something, what they, and I have to ask them a question, how they're going to reply,
and like I said, I get that it's stressful, and I get that people can be unreasonable, because you'll have people who you'll ship something, give them a note, give them the information, and then like half an hour later, tracking hasn't updated. I've just fucking dropped it off, mate. Like, I'm not even out of the car yet. And then I need an update. I need an update. You're like, I said I'd do it. Well, I'm doing it. Once there's an update to give you, I'll send you something. Like, I get people kind of expect a response like that.
You need to stay polite, don't you?
Yeah,
you can be a bit blunt, but this is just kind of like, you're all a bunch of cunts. I'll take your money, but if you dare to ask me a question, then I'm going to just.
Yeah, and to be fair, their work is really good. It's really good. Their stuff they do is great. I love the stuff they do. But I saw this and thought, someone's having a bad day, isn't they?
Yeah.
I just think if you're putting yourself out there, you need to kind of take it on the chin a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, wow, if I had never, if I just stumbled across you, I'd be like, he does cool stuff, but
you're being too minds. You'd be like, I like it, but this guy's gonna,
Because there's people that I've dealt with before that've done me custom bits that I've got, and most stuff I will do myself. So if I've got someone else's stuff in my collection, it's because I really like it.
Yeah.
But some of these people I know are a bit, can be a pain in the arse, and put stuff on Facebook, and you just, it makes you go, as much as I'd want another one, I ain't dealing with that. I can't with it. No. So you just kind of think, to me, this type of stuff, you just shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and I don't know whether or not. I mean, I don't know how he works or anything, but quite often, if you commission a custom piece, then you do put money up front. So you have got a right as a customer to ask questions, on a reasonable basis, because you want to know. And I've had my fair share of issues with, and you don't get replies or, but I think you've got to accept that if you are taking people's money, and quite often fairly substantial amounts of money, that, you need to keep people updated, and they might ask some dumb questions, but
it's all give and take.
A bit polite about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all give and take. So, the person who's paying needs to remember that
theirs isn't the only piece of work.
And you're not there at their beck and call. And at the same time, you should be humble enough to go, actually, these people have sent me stuff, or they're paying for my work, and it keeps me entertained, kind of thing. But it just came up. I thought we have to talk about this.
Definitely.
Dying to know whatever everyone else thinks about it.
Yeah.
But so, and then we had a bit of a sad one, didn't we?
Very much so, yeah. So Sean Connery passed away on Halloween, 31st of October, aged 90. It was sad because
in his sleep in the Bahamas. I wish we'd all go like that.
Oh, definitely, because we've not seen a lot of him. I think I looked up when his last film was, and it was kind of like 17 years ago or something like that. And he kind of, retired, and very much. I think he's always been a very private person, and it's one of those ones where, I mean, obviously, my view on him is that Roger Moore was Bond when I was growing up, so I never really watched the early films at a young age, and they always seemed like, I think Roger Moore appealed more to me as a kid because he was all about the comedy and the slapstick and the one-liners and everything. So I never came to the sort of Sean Connery Bonds. So my first real, seeing him in like things like Time Bandits, obviously Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, Untouchables, things like that. I mean, I absolutely love him as Henry Jones in Last Crusade. He's probably my favourite of his roles.
I can't think of anyone else who could have done that.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Who the only person that can upstage Harrison Ford for charisma and just that kind of like that, just brilliant adventurer kind of. So I'm very lucky to own this figure that I've got here, the Rocco sculpt, and I've always wanted. I chased the guy for that figure for years, and he finally found a home here. So yeah, it is sad. But having gone back to the watched his Bond movies as an adult, they're quality. They've got a real kind of class about them, and to most people, he is Bond. So then we go on to the group shenanigans issue, but obviously there's a Goldfinger figure that Big Chief Studios put out. Did it come out this year or last year? Last year, I think.
Last year, I believe.
Yeah, and they had Auric Goldfinger and Oddjob as well. And I think they were about 200-ish each.
Yeah, they kind of sat between the 180 to 220 around that kind of mark. They weren't hard to get hold of.
They were, and then then I think they sold out, and their prices started to creep up a bit. Definitely the Sean Connery figure, and I think I was looking at weirdly. I don't know why. I said earlier in the podcast that I've been looking for decent suits, so I was looking at a lot of suits on eBay, and I think this figure came up. And
it's not a bad idea.
It's okay. It's a little bit too sort of 60s, bit trendy. It's it's a slimmer cut than but it probably could have worked. And I think I saw one for about 270, and I was a bit like, well, yeah, I could pick that up, and then I could probably sell the sculpts and bits and pieces like that. And then obviously later that day, heard about his passing, and then instantly, boom, we've got people listing for 875 quid.
What a bunch of wankers!
I mean, the fuck. I mean, you got to be a mug to even contemplate paying that, and particularly why, if you really wanted that figure or you'd already own it, I don't get why just because someone's died, if you buy that 875, you're not gonna be able to sell it for 1,200 quid next week. You're not going to make any money on that.
I never get why someone being dead is going to make me want the figure.
No, not if you didn't want it beforehand.
Yeah, if I didn't want it when they were alive, why would I want it when they're dead? Yeah. I mean, if you think about Harrison Ford, right? When he eventually goes, or same with Mark Hamill, because we had the same with Leia, like Leia's.
Yeah.
When they're going to be so fucking expensive.
Oh, they're still ridiculous. Those layers go for like 400 quid.
So the was it Last Jedi Leia?
Yeah.
130 quid you could get them at one point. As soon as she died, you were looking at 250, and they've started to come back down. They're getting to about 180 again, but no.
Yeah, that A New Hope one probably sits at 400 odd.
Yeah,
and then you've got to get a custom dress really because the standard one's shit. So you're looking at 550, which is ridiculous for a very basic figure.
For what it is.
So I think Steve said he picked up one of these Connery figures just before they went up. So again, I don't know if that was motivated by the fact that he died or whether he'd been after one for a while and knew that if he wanted one at a decent price, he'd have to get in there quick. So obviously he's not on the show tonight, so we can't ask him for that. But I'm sure he said he nipped in and got one. It's a really nice figure. It looks fantastic. But no, that's a sad one, that, because he's definitely one of my sort of favourite actors. He had a lot of smaller parts towards his later career, but he voiced the dragon in Dragonheart. He's really cool. Yeah, he had that really cool cameo at the end of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, that kind of stole the show, I think.
Yeah, he did.
And you just think, oh, why wasn't he in the whole film? It would have been so much better.
It would have.
But yeah, no, a true legend of cinema, and as he will be missed.
Yeah, he's just epic. I mean, I polished off I dusted off the 50th Bond set.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, and so I watched Dr. No at the weekend, and they're such good films.
Yeah,
such good films.
Yeah, they are.
So Facebook user, damn, Ian looks like he could be my long lost brother with glasses. That would be really handy if I knew who you were, because it just comes up Facebook user.
So he really could be your long lost brother.
He really could be.
Yeah,
he really could be.
Oh, and The Rock as well. Yeah, Danny Lee.
Oh,
The Rock is bloody brilliant. I think that's got to be the one of the best kind of military action films. I absolutely love it. The soundtrack's amazing. Hans Zimmer. Yeah, love The Rock.
He always just be Henry Jones to me. Like,
yeah.
That's as soon as I think of him, that's who comes to mind straight away.
For me too. Yeah. And he's just brilliant in that.
Junior.
Yeah,
like, it's just
You didn't bring it, did you?
Yeah.
I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers. Brilliant. It's just like, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. He goes, indeed, that's what we called the dog.
Yeah. Oh, I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
As a little,
I think if we don't wrap up too late, I think that'd be on my list.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah. Custom corner. So this is worth a mention. So Homelander, someone's doing a custom. Nocturne, is it?
Yeah, it looks like a Nocturne.
Yeah. I mean, this looks fantastic. Looks really good.
Yeah, we don't know too much about. People are saying that it's going to be expensive and they want a lot of money up front. But it's just, I think we put it in because we're going to see a lot of the boys stuff, licensed and unlicensed, I think, coming soon now.
Definitely. So it'd be interesting to see this side by side with the licensed one that's going to come out.
Yeah. Did you see Zach?
Scottish accent in everything. Yeah, good. That is a good point.
What's that?
Yeah, Sean Connery. He was the only guy who got away with having a Scottish accent.
That's the thing.
In everything.
The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm coming in. This is how I talk.
Hmm.
I'm not going to bother trying to do an accent. Yeah, definitely. Ramirez in Highlander, supposed to be Spanish, sounds Scottish. But he's brilliant in that as well. He's just So did you see Zach in his Homelander suit on
yes
Small Talk? Oh, that was hilarious. It was such a good episode. So funny. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? Is that what I think it is that you're wearing there?
Yeah, he did. He looked good.
Brilliant.
Yes, Optical says, I have a feeling So Toys will do the boys. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I've got a sneaking feeling anytime something like this comes up, So Toys will probably go, oh, we're working on this as well.
It looks similar to that one, but no, that's cool. I think everybody wants a Homelander figure.
I think so. Get that and Billy. It's just
and then you got a use for your Feist and Cox, and you can do that the scene from the end of season 2.
Finally a use for the. In fact, do you know what I use those for now? When anyone says to me, "Can you match to a Python body?" I go, "I haven't got a Python body." I've got a bag of dicks. So I just, in fact, Danny's the last 2 sculpts I did for Danny, I matched it because I'd forgotten all about that you wanted it matched to a Python body, and I sold the Python body I had, and I went, oh crap, oh hang on, I've got a bag of dicks, so literally match them to the dicks.
Just don't get mistaken and go for the helmet color.
No,
a little bit too purple.
Yeah, he did get me. Went, this looks far too red.
It's like, oh shit! I was basing it on the helmet rather than the shaft.
Yeah, exactly. So, so they do have their use.
Yeah,
they do
definitely.
have their uses. Yeah,
I bet someone will do that. Someone will do that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what would be good is if you had all of them and lined them up next to their like Justice League equivalent, would be kind of cool. That would be good. So look, we're at that point of the show again where we thank Watto, the lovely man, for sponsoring us. There's a selection of heads that he's done there. Fantastic guy. I've got a load more stuff of his to paint, which I'm looking forward to. He's like as far as I'm concerned, he's like the king of animated style scopes. Like,
the animated fantastic stuff is bang on.
And he's doing like what was it, like 300 odd heads or something?
The other day so far. And I think
there's even a Zach in there as well, isn't there?
Can you actually buy Zach? Can you?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't put a veto on anyone else buying his.
So I think it was in there.
I have to get one of them.
Yeah,
and then
things we could do with it.
and then find my bag of dicks. And
Yeah.
well, Zach in the Homelander outfit.
Yeah, that would be pretty
Bloody
cool.
brilliant. He's going to do that himself. He'll be doing that himself.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, he's and I think especially with this run of these Clone Wars figures that Hot Toys are bringing out with the real actors' heads.
Yeah.
If you want the animated versions, then he's your man. It's
big time.
It's a perfect
Big
line,
time.
for him.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you, Sean.
For sure. Yeah. So we have the Collecting Weekly Awards that I can never remember any of the categories because generally speaking, his name is David Muscat's. He loves the show. Thank you. At least someone does. And you're my bro. What a way to find out. What a way to find out.
Yeah.
Nice one.
We've got most improved company, best overall company, best 1/6 scale figure, best 1/12 scale figure, best head sculpt, best non regular scale figures, so something that isn't 1/6 or 1/12. Best figure under $30, we'll say 20 quid, 25 quid. And figure of the year. I think that's it.
Figure of the year is going to be Mando, isn't it?
It's got to be. I think Mando is a lock in for 1/6 and figure of the year. I've never seen a figure that so many people have got, and the love for it has been pretty much universal.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone. And the thing is, normally, like if you look at Maul last year, they and don't get me wrong, Maul is a fantastic figure. I think it deserved to win.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at people posting pictures of Maul, there are some good ones and there are some bad ones, but there are a lot more bad ones than good.
Yeah,
particularly when you look at the speeder bike and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because people will, I don't know why, but people insist upon using every accessory that comes with him and have him leaping off the bike, and it just looks shit.
Yeah.
But I've not seen a single picture of the Mando and gone,
no.
Oh, that looks a bit crap.
I think he's pretty much impossible to take a bad picture of, even if you just take him straight out of the box and lean him up against the wall. He's just, all of it looks great. I can't wait to get hold of him.
Me neither.
Ryan, are you guys removing the fat suit on your Mandos?
I will be, and then eventually I want to put a Python body on. But what I need to do, I mean, I want to do what you're going to do. Take the body off Indy to put on the Mando, but I need to sort a replacement body out for Indy before
I'd pick up the JX01. It's brilliant. You can get them for about 25 quid. It's a really good body, and it fits that Iris outfit perfectly. Really
good.
To
send me a link, and I'll finish off.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, definitely. I'd buy them again and again. They've been my sort of go-to slim, muscular body now, I think. So I've got a Fison, and I think we both cut bits off to try and get the Indy shirt to fit. So I think that's going to work well for the Mando, because it's not going to be too bulky, but it's going to have that fantastic articulation.
I think the only bit we're going to need to bulk out a bit is probably the wrists for the gauntlets. But if we use, we could get away with 2-part silicone putty.
Either that, or just wrap a bit of tape, because it's all going to be covered, isn't it? So I'd probably just wrap a bit of duct tape around them, because I've already got where I've cut the bits off. So I didn't want any like odd lumps or bumps or anything. I've just got a load of duct tape and just smoothed it all off. So he's ready to go. And and I might do the magnet mod or something similar on the gun.
I need to see it first.
Yeah, I don't know how it works properly, but I don't like the idea of it being attached to the gun.
No, I think it's catch-22, because I know it, as far as I'm aware, it pins onto his little bandolier.
It does on the front, yeah.
And then the little cord bit is always attached to the gun.
Yeah.
Right. So it's either that is always going to be attached to his chest, or it's going to have to be attached to the gun. So I'm gonna have to get it and see what I like the look of.
Yeah, same here. But I think what I'm leaning towards is possibly removing the strap from the gun. If you can clean that up nicely and repaint the bit that's missing, permanently stick that to the armor, and then possibly just magnetize, put some magnets on the back of the figure and on the gun, so it just snaps on, like you did with the bobber,
like with the armor,
jetpack, didn't you? Yeah.
But you'd always have you'd always have that magnet visible on the gun.
On the gun, yeah. It'd just be a case of how small you could get away with, and
I mean,
you could paint it. You could paint over it.
Yeah, the problem is, so the thinnest magnets I've got are like 2 mil.
Yeah,
and the circumference on them is probably 3 mil. So they're quite small, and they stick like shit to a blanket.
Yeah.
But you might be better off drilling a hole into the butt and inserting the magnet, and then filling over the top.
Yeah.
So it's actually inside the. But I'll have a look when it turns up.
Yeah,
I mean, if it doesn't bother me that much, I won't.
Play around, because you can get. I've got some like magnetic tape as well.
Yeah.
So it's you can cut it into quite small strips, but obviously it's about how much you're going to need to actually get it to
get it to grip,
to hold. I mean, to be honest, I'm not that bothered, because I probably wouldn't pose him with the rifle anyway. I want a real kind of gunslinger cowboy kind of pose, so I'm not too bothered. I'd rather, I think I'm erring towards taking the strap off to make him look complete like he would in this show. But yeah, I think we need to get it in hand to see how it would actually work.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I'm definitely planning on doing a couple of bits to him. Yeah, so I think is it December 1st? They close, and then we as a group decide what the final 5 are in each group, and then the voting will be based on those, and to be revealed just before Christmas, I think, on CW. So get your votes in. Go to
there's still time.
Auxiliary, and there's a link on there. More votes we get, the better.
Pinned at the top, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the more we get, the better, because we get more of a a subsection of the community. So
a bit of diversity on that.
Yeah, it's always good fun.
Yeah, and then we have our Patreon peeps.
Yeah, I'll run through them. So
the ever-growing list.
Yeah, so we have Ben Porter, Griffin Campbell, Sean Fear, Ian Seaby, Rene Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, Leo Hernandez, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Dan Lee, Dini Martin, Stephen Crett, Jason Nelson, Big Fern, King Zachary V, Cesar Mariquin, Eddie Mendez, Eric Ruiz, Mario Cortez, Stephen Purchase, Sean Yahtzee, Scott Bradley, Jesse Contreras, and Steve and Maria Stanley. Thank you very much for your continued support on the Patreon, helping us to improve the quality of our broadcasts. Much appreciated. Hopefully you're enjoying the stickers that you guys are getting in the post. Building up quite a nice collection now. So these are the 2 tiers, although we so the $5 a month, £3 ish. Sweet Angel, you get the sticker sent to your door every month, and that's about it. And then the Crispy, you get a certificate. You get the stickers, you get assistance with a figure fixed by Zach. Currently, I don't know how you want to. At the moment, those on this tier get a free sculpt paint up from yourself. But I think there's talks about adding a new tier, and that might move into that. But that's to be confirmed, isn't it? But just to be clear, you don't get the sculpt.
Yeah,
you send the sculpt. You send the sculpt to Ian, you pay for shipping both ways, and he would just paint it for you. So
shipping and import, you just pay, and I'll paint it for you and send it back.
Yeah, and that's definitely worth having. So Yeah, and then if you want to take us to the other
Yeah,
shows,
so we've got a pretty packed network at the moment. So we've got Auction, which I think they're doing in a couple of days.
yeah,
Which is great for you guys in the States. You get all your figures up there and they auction them off through Auxiliary. We've got Collecting Weekly, which is the big proper show. We've got Zach and Dean. We've got Collecting Rarities with Raina, which is the slightly stranger side of collecting and the rarer things.
Yeah.
Small Talk, which is the smaller scale.
Yeah, so Damien's taking a break for a while. Dylan's heading that up, and we're kind of filling in where we can. I was on the last one, which was good. It's made a nice change. Just about worked out time-wise. I think we went live about 11 o'clock UK time. Went on to about 12:30, so it's just about doable if you fancy getting on one.
Yeah, late night for Pete.
Yeah, it was, definitely was. Yep.
Yeah, then we've got the Joy of Hobbying, which that's Zach tinkering, his little tinker hour.
Yeah.
Mess around figures and stuff. You have us, the jewel in the crown of the network.
Definitely.
Yeah, then you got Collecting Comics, which is oddly enough all about comics.
Yeah.
After Dark, which is Zach and Dean. It's where Zach does things that we can't talk about for legal reasons. And
YouTube takes them down on a regular basis now.
Yep. They are not YouTube's friend on that show.
No.
And then we have Manny with Creeps Are Us, the creepier side of life.
Yeah,
really.
and they just put one out last week, I think. So,
so yeah, we've got a pretty full-on network, which is good.
Yeah.
And so anyone in the UK, lots of content throughout lockdown to keep you company.
Yeah.
Through the apocalypse. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. So we wanted to give everyone fair warning that we are now going to be talking about the Mandalorian, the last episode.
Yep. Spoilers.
Spoilers. I can't say it anymore.
Leave now if you don't wish to hear
leave now.
Anything about
so
the episode.
We're going to play our intro video, and
Yeah.
you have until the end of that to leave if you haven't seen it yet. I think we've been super, super good by giving you plenty of warning.
Definitely.
Right.
You only have yourself to blame. Yep.
After this, you've been fairly warned.
You are about to listen to Only Fools and Collecting, a podcast for those who like a good moan about figure collecting and don't mind naughty words.
There, you've been warned.
Yeah.
There. See you later, Toy Mafia.
Later.
Sean. He's Baby Yoda. Should be here any minute. Nice one.
Oh, right. Nice.
Yes, they've started shipping. People have started to get theirs.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. They look pretty good.
Pick some pits up on Ox when you get it, Sean. See ya.
Yeah. So, Mando. First episode. First 50-minute episode.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start things off and tell you a little story about what I did that morning. So,
okay.
I thought midnight. It was just the episode would drop and it would just be added. Didn't realize it was going to start at 7 o'clock.
Well, I guess it's midnight in the US somewhere, is it?
Yeah. So I got up at 6,
right,
to watch it before anyone got up and disturbed me.
And it wasn't there.
It wasn't there. I got up, made a cup of tea, sat down, and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And I was knackered. Like I didn't get in till stupid o'clock the night before, and I was like, I could do without this, but I couldn't. I didn't want to risk going to work, flicking on Facebook or something, and then So I made sure I watched it before work, before I went off. And I was like, "Fucking!" I got up an hour early. Didn't even wasn't even on. So I've learnt my lesson. So tomorrow,
you just keep like refreshing, just watching.
I was like, "What the fuck is it?" I thought, "What the fuck's going on?" And then I googled it, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I've got an hour." And then it magically appeared at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So Ryan says, "So good, watched it twice the same day." I got Tremor vibes, big time.
Yeah,
big time. Yeah, I did as well. I think I probably watched it 3 times now.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
Yeah. I love just such a good episode.
I loved it. I think like Zach and Dean pulled it apart a bit and about how it didn't really push the story on and everything. But that's
does it need to?
No, and I think it's all just about just enjoying the feel. It's just so feels so original trilogy, and there's a load of like shout backs to it and everything, and obviously to finally see a crate dragon when obviously in A New Hope we see the big skeleton when 3PO and R2 land on Tatooine, and that's the noise that Ben makes to frighten off the Sand people. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it kind of held up the story. I just thought it made sense to me why he would be looking for more of his kind.
Yeah.
So that he could find out a bit more about the Baby Yoda and what they are, so we can go off and find more. But yeah, I loved it. And there were so many there were nice little nods to stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, I think in the scene, I only found this out today, in the scene where you see the second Death Star explode, the text going around the bottom of the Death Star, apparently it's the opening crawl from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's just been translated into whatever, and they just put it round on that.
The little Easter egg, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I quite liked about it. I mean, I thought, so when we spoke a while back about the rumours around Boba Fett coming back.
Yeah, and you were pretty bang on, I think, with what you were saying about.
Yeah, so they've kind of got hold of Legend and the expanded universe and kind of gone and pushed it together.
Yeah.
And it made sense. And I was like, right, okay, I know what's going on here. And there were some subtle changes. But I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And when we saw what we assume is Boba Fett.
Yeah, at the end,
And that kind of ties back into Series 1 because that was probably him. Because back when he was on Tatooine before, you had that silhouette that went up to the body on the floor, and everyone was like, "It's Boba Fett."
Yeah.
And it was never confirmed, but I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic episode. I liked the Marshal was brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean, he's such a good actor anyway. Because I've been watching him in the Santa Clarita Diet. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just everything he's in is he's very, very good at playing a kind of westerny kind of character.
Yeah.
So him in this, and I like the way there was like kind of a little nod to Return of the Jedi where he just like smacks the jetpack, and he just goes, "Oh!"
That's cool. Yeah. You got Weequay in there, who's presumably the same guy from the sail barge. I like that you saw him fire the rocket at the militia people.
The Miners Guild. It's just the way he just sort of goes, leans down and bang,
boop, and the target, and loved it. Yeah, and I just thought like the CGI was great. I love the bits where they were flying on the jetpacks, and you got this like huge crate dragon in the background, and I just thought it was all really well done.
Yeah, I like the way Boba Fett's armor was just miles too big.
Yeah,
it looked, really didn't. Really, it was like it reminds me of. Do you know when you see it? You see at the moment, kids dressing up as the Mandalorian for Halloween.
Yeah,
and everything's slightly too big.
Yeah,
I love that. And it's the way like he's standing in the doorway and he sits down, and as soon as he plonks his helmet down, you're like, oh, that's not Boba Fett. Then.
No, and it's brilliant. I don't know if it was on one of our chat groups. I think someone put on like a side by side. So you got Boba Fett as he is in like Empire, and then you got the other. And this is like the picture on the left is how it looked in the catalogue.
Yeah,
and the one on the right is how it looks on me.
Yeah,
bloody brilliant.
I mean, what I'm hoping now is that they don't go back to Boba Fett. I'm hoping they leave that a few episodes.
Yeah, let that stew for a little while.
Yeah, let that settle in, and kind of because I think what's going to end up happening is Boba Fett is effectively after his armor.
Yeah,
because if you think about how long it took Mando to get there from one side of like Mos Eisley round to there, I almost want to. It would be great if he's then almost like one step behind him following him.
Yeah,
to
and
get
I
his
think the
armor.
thing is with like saying about the episode and it didn't. I think this series is very much about he's got a long term objective, to find
Yeah.
the home planet or whatever for the child. But it is very much he's going to visit different places every episode and get involved with something that either furthers his quest or
Because
that he
the way I kind of saw it was that he's been tasked with getting the child back.
yeah.
He knows that the child at the present time is 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There is no immediate concern to get him back because in his head, Moff Gideon is dead.
Yeah.
He doesn't know he doesn't know he's alive. He didn't see him get out at the end of it.
No.
He thinks that Imperial threat is dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So he at the moment his priority is going to be finding other Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And then once he's found more Mandalorians and he got his coven back, he can then go and find where the child comes from, returning to his people. So there's plenty of scope for him to be roaming around the galaxy with the child in tow before he even has to look at giving him back. Yeah,
exactly. And they're not going to, as you said, there's no way there's not going to be a season 3. So they're not going to look to wrap anything up at the end of this season. So it's going to be very much, an episodic and they're going to have a lot of cool. I love the, like we talked about the speeder bike.
Yeah.
The fact that it had the same sound effects as the Endor ones. I loved that. And obviously then the Marshal with his,
I love the way the Marshals
racer.
Yeah, with
and
the
that
front
sounded just like that.
Yeah,
just fantastic. Yeah,
and the Tusken Raiders, it fleshed them out more as well. It was it made me instantly want a Tusken Raider figure.
I think that's a good. I think that there's definitely
we're definitely going to get one from Hot Toys.
Definitely coming out, and that I'm going to have one of them because I had the Sideshow one, and it was okay. But the more you looked into it, you'd be like, it doesn't. It's not. It's not what you'd expect from a modern figure. So I can't wait. If I'm
honest, looking at the Mando line, there's more in that I look at that I go, I want that. I want an IG unit. I'd love an IG unit. I've wanted one for years.
Yeah.
The troopers are pretty good. Apart from the Remnant troopers, I'm not a fan of the Remnant.
No, they're just badly.
I think if I got one, I would have to completely redo it. I couldn't have it as it is.
No.
So I like the Remnant troopers. I like the Incinerator trooper.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic.
I want the flame effect to go with the Mando.
It's the one actual effect that I think looks really good.
He does, yeah.
And I like the Death Trooper.
Death Trooper's good, yeah.
The other week I was like, I want a Mando and I want a Maul, and now I'm thinking, actually, if I could sell off that, I'd pick the Death Trooper up.
Well, you could pose
200 odd quid
with your Mando as well. So
you could go with Mando, you could go with anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's brilliant. So there's more from this line that I'm looking at going, actually, I wouldn't mind half of that.
And there's probably more to come that we've not even seen.
Yeah, it's probably the first line in ages that I've looked at and I've gone, actually, I think
they're gonna milk it. It's because it's so hot at the moment, and obviously they've got the issue that we've discussed about, that any figure they bring out announced now is going to be possibly 2 years away.
Yeah.
But I think that the show will run for a good few years. So
I think so.
That'll stay fairly high. But yeah, I've got the
Ryan's with us on the Tusken Raiders, definitely.
Cool. I've got the Scout Trooper pre-ordered.
That's another one. I want the Scout Trooper as well.
Which initially I ordered that to use as a Jedi one, and I would have had to take some of the weathering off. But obviously, I've been lucky enough to pick up a Sideshow one. But I still want it because I think I will pose it with like Mando, like taking him out kind of thing. So
I just want it with the child in a bag.
Yeah. So I've only ordered the Trooper on its own, not the bike, so I won't get that. But I'm looking forward to having that because I think I'll pose that with Mando, like taking him down or whatever. So that'd be good. But yeah, I mean, this is where it's at the moment. It's single-handedly keeping Star Wars going. Really,
Oh
I think,
yeah,
now,
for me, yeah, it's the most Star Warsy thing we've had in years.
Brilliant.
And the only thing I was a bit disappointed with the first episode was the two Gamorreans fighting at the beginning.
Yeah.
The rest of the CGI and the rest of the practical effects and everything else looked really good.
Yeah.
The two Gamorrean guards, it wasn't.
People painted green, weren't they?
Well, that bit didn't even bother me. It was the masks they were wearing that were clearly masks. I was like, honestly, go back and watch it. It looks so janky. I was like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
But luckily they weren't the main focus.
It was only a tiny bit. I think they kind of thought, we'll probably get away with doing this a bit cheap because it's only but then, a lot of people watching this are mega fans and they know what those characters look like. And
problem is as well, if everything else is so good, if anything isn't up to that standard,
it's always going to be open for nitpicking, isn't it? But I think overall the quality of the CGI and stuff, especially with the battling the crate dragon, I thought was bang on.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I liked it when they're watching them fight and they all pull guns out on him and he just fires up his wrist. He's gone.
And then Baby Yoda's like, he's like, whoa.
I've seen this.
Shield comes out. That's funny.
Because I didn't really notice him that much in the episode.
No,
there was a couple of times they kind of cut to him, and other than that, I didn't really.
No, he wasn't. Like Zach was saying, they kind of used him for a bit of comedic effect. So
but I didn't think they did it that much. I think they did that bit. They did that bit where he shuts himself away.
Yeah, but that was brilliant. That really worked.
Yeah, that worked really well. And then I think the only time I really noticed a full blown shot of him was when he bumps into the spittoon. Yeah. When he goes, I noticed the little fella, and other than that, I didn't really notice him that much.
No,
which isn't a problem. It's fine. That didn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, to me, as I've always said, that I'm not the biggest fan of the child. I get that that's the main plot point, and that's propelling the series, but to me, it's just all Mando. He's just a bad motherfucker.
It's just awesome. Like the whole episode was
so cool.
Yeah, it was because I'd gone back and watched the first series to be all. Cool.
Yeah, I'd meant
not that I needed to watch it again.
I didn't get round to it. But yeah, it's so another episode tomorrow. So don't get up at 6.
I'll get up. I'll get up a little. I'll get up 1:45, and I'll go down, make a cup of tea. Saying that, I might need to get up at 6. So I can get washed and changed, and then go straight out the door when it finishes.
Yeah.
Mind you, how long's the next episode?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably not going to be as long as that, is it? It'll probably be about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which most of them were first. Yeah. So the problem is, I had to watch because I get moaned at if I'm watching stuff like when the missus is about and all that sort of thing. So I couldn't wait. I thought I've got to watch it because although it appeared that Facebook wasn't too bad, there weren't too many Muppets out there trying to spoil it. So I watched it on the iPad while I was working first off, which is fine, but it's much better on a big TV. So then at the weekend, I think Saturday, I said, "Oh, do you all want to watch it?" Because my boy is into Star Wars and that, and he loves Jawas and things. So we watched it on the 4K, and it did look really nice. So but then I always plan to watch it more than once anyway. So I didn't mind that. I watched it once, so I'd seen it, and there was no spoilers, and then I enjoyed it sort of the second time in better quality kind of thing. But
I think they started it off well. I think if it carries on like that, I'll be happy as pig in shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it, really. That was our thought on. And I thought we were very, very nice by telling everyone to sod off if they hadn't seen it. Cool. So that is it.
Definitely
nowhere near as long as we did last time.
No. There's only 2 of us, not 4. So it's
breeze through it.
Yeah, no, good show. Yeah, good.
It was nice for everyone to join us in the chat.
Number 30 next time round.
Yes, it's a special one.
Another
30
milestone.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done it just over a year now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's good. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to we'll put our heads together and think of something to do.
Yep. We'll do.
Yeah. Cool. Right. All right. Well, it is a bye from me.
Yeah, and a bye from me. Good night, all.
See you later. Bye.
Set up.